Nathan, good morning to you. What's
Hello.
going on?
What is going on? You sound confused about what's going on.
I mean, that's not the case.
Are we having our production meeting on air once again? What's going on? Why are you here? Why are you here?
I have a fair idea what's going on. You're picking your team of the season.
So I hear. Yeah, so I hear. Two games in.
This is Owen's idea, and it's
big decisions.
This is Owen's idea. This is why we pay him the big bucks. This is the best idea he's ever had. We're like, you know the way it's like, oh, we should. All the supermarkets where it's called shit posting. That's what the youngsters call it these days. Where you put something up that's so outrageous on Twitter, you get loads of likes and retweets and comments, and you get ratioed. But it's like, yeah, look what I did. The supermarkets were at it this week with all of their Christmas stuff. So you can go in and buy your selection box, your celebrations, whatever it is that you're going to feast on over the course of the Christmas holidays. You can get it. It was available at the end of August, the start of September. Everybody I know took a photograph of it and went, no, too early, too early. It's like, oh, they have the new Lindt stuff in... Right, I'm just going to have a little stroll down to Dunn's at lunchtime today. So it works. And like this, Owen's idea, it's a rip-off of that. It's, let's get the first team of the season out there and see what happens.
Well, yeah,
it's not the smoothest analogy of all time, but I'll go with it.
We've got Nathan to pick his, but that is not the official OTB AM Premier League Team of the Season. Of course, we have our own OTB AM Premier League Team of the Season. We'll get to Nathan's in a moment, but a warm welcome to everyone, especially the Twitter user who has already replied, lads, we're only 2 weeks in. Here is the final 11 of the official OTB AM Premier League Team of the Season 2 weeks in. In goals, we have Vicente Guiata. So 67 goals already scored in the Premier League season so far. Goalkeepers are officially invisible, but not Guaita. No one has made more saves than him so far this season. Brilliant in the first game against Southampton in particular. Got a clean sheet on that particular day. Kept Manchester United to 1 goal. That's as good as you can expect from a goalkeeper so far, basically. At right back, we have Tariq Lamptey, everyone's favourite footballer in the league already, and he's proved that the only way to succeed in modern football is to get sold by Chelsea. At left back, we have Luca Dean. After winning 2 Ligue 1 titles with Paris Saint-Germain and a La Liga crown with Barcelona, Dean is now delighted to have already secured this season's Premier League title with Everton. At centre-back, we have Ezri Konsa. Groans from the Sky Sports studio on Monday night as it looked like he had pulled his hamstring in the half-time warm-up. Less than 20 minutes later, he's still on the pitch, and he's only just scored the winner for Aston Villa. Beside Konsa, then, I've gone for Gabriel. He's been such an instant success at Arsenal that he don't even need to use his full name, meaning he has already had a more successful spell at the club than Gabriel Paulista. Let's move on to midfield, and we can start here with James Rodriguez. Eased into Premier League life and is finding the Premier League life quite easy. He's set to clock up more goals this season, I reckon, than sprints completed. Also in midfield, beside James, we have gone for Dennis Pratt. Now, Pratt scored a beauty in Leicester's second win of the season on Sunday night and sparked the Leicester City Twitter account to publish some of the worst social media content ever or some of the best social media content ever. I can't quite decide. So you'll have seen on your screen for the last few moments. First of all, on Sunday, it was a nod to It's Always Sunny with the Dennis scheme being showed in full value there. So if you're listening on the radio, D stands for dominate the midfield. E stands for encourage teammates. N stands for never stop running. N stands for net a screamer. I stands for impress the Blue Army. And S is secure the 3 points. And then last night, they kept the TV theme going and they tweeted this, Leicester City. Bake Off is back tonight. Here is Dennis Pratt putting the icing on the cake in Sunday's win. Did you see what they did there? He scored the final goal on Sunday night. The icing is the last thing you do on a cake, and icing on a cake is a thing that you see in Great British Bake Off, which started last night. Absolutely incredible stuff from the Leicester City Twitter account. The last midfielder is Kevin De Bruyne. Stupidly good from the off as he goes in search of 21 assists this season, although did, of course, briefly consider retirement on Monday night after Daniel Pudence's nutmeg. And then up front, I've gone for Mo Salah on the right. Desperately disappointing, though, on Sunday, bringing his season average to a hat-trick every other game. Through the middle is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's on course to score a goal with every part of the human anatomy before the end of the season. And on the left is Heung-min Son, who would like to thank his family, his teammates, and Southampton's high defensive line for the opportunities they have afforded him during his career. And there's your 11. That's it, officially. Full stop on the OTB AM Premier League Team of the Season.
There's a good chance that you might have like 6 actual Team of the Season members at the end of the year.
Like, if we're not accurate, where are we going? Is what I asked myself before actually putting that team together.
Nathan, what have you got for us?
I think I've maybe 4 of the same as Eoin. Listen, he makes a couple of decent cases. I'm not sure if he's actually thought about this in depth, though. Goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez. What a debut.
Villa. Like, I mean, look, they've got the goalkeeper, they've got a centre-back. If they could only score some goals, they'd be dangerous.
Well, like, this guy could transform them from, a final day of the season relegation battle to a penultimate day of the season relegation battle, perhaps. He is that good, Ger. He is good. But he was very impressive. Ball at feet, could pass it around at the back. Big step up on what they had last season. So I thought, he hasn't put a foot wrong so far. He kept a clean sheet. There haven't been many of them. Emiliano Martinez is my keeper. Right back is tough. Sort of shows how football has changed. It's hard to find any centre-backs who really deserve to be there. But there's any amount of full-backs who've been brilliant. But you could have gone for Seamus Coleman. Reece James has been good. He went with Lamptey. I go with Timothy Castagne from Leicester. In fact, both my full-backs are from Leicester. Castagna. Apologies. I regularly get the left back wrong as well when I call him Justin James rather than James Justin. But it is James Justin, and he is my left back ahead of Luca Dean. He's been absolutely brilliant, bombing up and down that left wing. I played the end of last season at right back when Pereira got injured. Obviously, when they brought in the Belgian, they moved Justin, as it is, I'm still confused by it, to left back. And they're not missing Ben Chilwell at all. So, yeah, he's been brilliant. He gets in at left back. Centre-backs, I go with Gabriel as well. A little bit of solidity at the back for Arsenal. And I'm going to go, because they've been so bad so far, Fabinho. I'll throw him in there as an insult to all the other centre-backs, that this guy, central midfielder, can play one game and be better than the vast majority of them. And it was probably the biggest game of the season so far, that he was exceptional. So Fabinho is centre-back alongside Gabriel. The biggest shock from Eoin's team, no, Alan. Everton's best player so far. Middle of midfield. Keeps the whole thing ticking over. Has changed the way they play completely. He has got to be in your midfield.
He's changed the way they've changed completely, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's been player of the season so far. Has he had a better season than Dennis Pratt? I don't think so.
Yes.
And I would have actually had Alan as my third choice in that remaining midfield position. I can't remember who else I was considering, because after Pratt banged in that goal at the weekend, I was like, well, that's it, because he was really good on the opening day of the season as well. Like,
it's not fantasy football, it's actual football. So much like your centre back alongside Gabriel, Ezri Konsa, because he scored a goal, he gets in. And because what? Pratt scores a goal, he gets in.
Tell me how many
Alan isn't going to score goals. He's not going to score goals.
Tell me how many teams kept clean sheets at the weekend. Ezri Konsa had a brilliant defensive performance, was the standout centre back from the entire weekend that we've seen. He was certainly better than Fabinho, and it's one versus one. Now, Fabinho was excellent. Don't get me wrong. He was also excellent. Don't get me wrong. But if I was picking between Fabinho or Ezri Konsa for the best centre back performance of the weekend, I'm going for Konsa.
Of the season.
Of the season, of course, of the entire season, of the entire.
It's the only game they played.
To utilise all this evidence in front of us, and your fantasy football comment is actually derogatory at best. To be quite honest with you, your Alan pick is based on one game, the opening game of the season.
Okay.
Alan's position should be to anchor and actually keep things tight in a 1-0 win. It was 5-2 on Saturday.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he was actually.
Okay, the official OTB AM Premier League Team of the Year will be back next week, don't worry. We're going to do a quick Ireland lowdown on what's going on here. Quickly, your front three, quickly.
I went with Salah, Calvert-Lewin as well, and Wilfried Zaha instead of Heung-min Son. Because again, I'm not totally judging on the fact that, Heung-min Son, having had 4 chances put on a plate, put them in the back of the net. Wilfried Zaha, left-hand side, every day of the week.
Zaha and Son can go through the middle, and Calvert-Lewin can sling his hook.